Right, here's quiz 3 about function graphs, and these are the questions that many of you have got it wrong. But please pay particular attention to question number 21. So let's go. In question 6, we know that A, B, C are positive constants. So we need to eliminate some of the graph one by one. So by looking at the intercept first, then obviously A and C won't be the case because C is positive. That leaves us with B and D. So both of these satisfy the condition that A is bigger than 0 and that the C, the intercept, is positive. But now let's focus on the value of B. And B is actually part of the x-coordinate of the vertex. So the x-coordinate of the vertex is minus B over 2A. Now since here A is bigger than 0 and B is also bigger than 0, and that leaves us that x must be negative. So if x is negative, that means the vertex coordinate of x is on the left hand side. Hence the answer here should be D. So D here should be the answer. Okay, so have a look at this carefully and make sure you understand. In this question, we're given a quadratic function and a straight line. And we're also told that if x, the value, is between alpha and beta, then which one of these should we satisfy? So let's look at the graph and consider the line and the curve. So first, think of where's the region that we're thinking about. And if we substitute the relationship between the two, we actually have mx plus k is equal to the quadratic equation because they're both equal to y. Now for the region of which x is between alpha and beta, that will be the area just above the curve, just above the line, below the curve. So that means these are the value that is bigger than the straight line. So the value of the curve have the y value bigger than the straight line. Therefore, the inequality then means that the value of a straight line compared to the value of the y for the quadratic, the inequality will then be the quadratic equation be bigger. So now, if we move around with the algebra, and we have, yes, so that means 0 is smaller than the expression on the right, then the expression on the right must be bigger than or equal to 0. So answer here is D. So this question is more about understanding the inequality of the graph. And a key point here is to understand the shaded area. The y value here of the quadratic is bigger than the y value of the straight line. In this question, we need to find f of x plus 1 and then minus f of x. And note, use the bracket and the minus on the outside. So expand out and cancel and simplify. We end up with 2x, and the answer here is C. So be careful of the minus, okay? Check and use the bracket. So in this question, we want to solve the inequality of f of x minus 5 bigger than 0. So let's rephrase this and say this is f of x is bigger than 5. So f of x is bigger than 5, that means the function value here the y value is bigger than the value of the line. So that means it's above the line, y equal to 5. So the area of that would be the 2n, and that is area of D. So the key here is to be able to interpret the meaning of this inequality. So when you put the f of x is bigger than 5, that means the y value of f of x is bigger than the y value of the line, y equal to 5. That is above the straight line. Now this question is about the transformation of graph. So let's follow this step by step. Here's my f of x as the y value, and then it says it goes up, so it goes to the left by 4 units. So g of x now must be the f of x plus 4, and then it says go up by 1 unit, so that will happen afterward at 1. So we put this f of x plus 4 into our function of f of x. Now be careful the minus on the outside, okay? Keep using the bracket. And hence, if we simplify, we end up with minus x plus 7 all square minus 6, which is b. So have a look, see if you can follow. Now this last question here is many of you got it wrong. So look at this carefully. We're given one graph of y equal x minus 1 all square, another graph of f of x. And the question asks which one of these may be the function f of x. So by looking at the options here, we're looking at maybe some kind of f of x is equal to k times a function of x. So in here, the g of x in my case is of x minus 1 all square. Now the question here is, by looking here, we know a and b won't be the case, but is it going to be c or d? So let's think of the value of k when it's bigger than 1 and when it is between 0 and 1. And what does it mean? It's bigger than 1, that means it's a stretch along the y-axis. And it's between 0 and 1 is a compression along the y-axis. Now by looking at the diagram here, the f of x compared to the y function, it seems as though it's been compressed rather than a stretch. If it's a stretch, it becomes more narrow, but in this case it's kind of more flatter, so it's like being pushed down. So hence the answer is D. Thank you for watching. Hope you learned something. If you need more explanation, please come and find me. Bye for now.